Welcome to another edition of Interruptions. I'm your host, Oda Smith. Today I've got another treat for you guys. If you don't know who this lady is to the left of me and her backdrop behind me, you're not black because you ain't been watching TV. I'm gonna just say it right now. You're gonna take your black card. You've seen her in the pit. We've seen her in Law and Order. We saw her in The Little Things, The Comedy Rule. We've seen her on Snowfalls, and we also seen her on another iconic show called The Wire. I'm talking no other than the fabulous Michael Hyatt. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. How
Thank
you?
you. I'm doing
Did you
okay.
purposely wear yellow?
Well, no, I started to come out with my own brand t-shirt. So
Ooh,
now um, I try to make sure that I have interruption podcast. So I
very
try
good.
to make sure I have a t-shirt or something. When I get ready to do my interview. So uh, I even
Maybe
had
you picked
to.
this picture. Maybe you picked this.
Yes,
Yellow is my
yes,
favorite color. So,
yes. And trust me, I'm going to email you and ask you for your size so I can get a t-shirt
oh, thank you.
out to you. And
Thank
so
you.
it's getting ready to warm up, so you won't need a long sleeve. We will get you a short sleeve.
I'd be happy to wear that.
Thank you, thank you. I don't take it lightly. We appreciate your presence and coming on the show. Um, I always pick my guests. Either I'm a fan of theirs, or I love somebody I always wanted to talk to. And of course, you fall in both categories. So
I
I'm honored.
appreciate your presence
Thank
and
you.
in having your show and talking to our community.
Thank
Appreciate
you. Thank you. My first question I want to ask you is just, looking you up, doing a little research uh, on you. How did your parents, their professions, how did that shape or encourage you as an actor?
directly. Mommy was a museum director, a
Hmm.
curator and museum director. She worked at the Smithsonian, and I just grew up in DC, and I just grew up around museums and galleries and museums my whole life. Well, my young life until I moved to New York and did my own thing.
Hmm.
Uh, my father was an actor.
Right.
So I literally grew up in either a theater watching
Hmm.
on stage or in a museum or gallery watching mommy do her thing. So when it was time for me to mm, understand, I understood. It really wasn't even about understanding. It just sort of was. I just started writing. One of my favorite shows was Little House on the Prairie.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, yes.
No, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. Do you know my wife and I watch Little House on the Prairie
Baby.
every day?
Every single, well, it was weekly then. Every
No, no,
single
I'm talking about now. We
now.
watch the
No,
reruns
where do you watch it?
on Pluto TV
I think that may
streaming.
be where I found it. I don't know, randomly, and I was just maybe when I was showering or something, I was looking for something
Hmm.
to watch, and I saw that there was and it was always live. So I think they just do
Yes,
one show after
yes.
another, one episode after another. Oh my God, I love that show. Love that show. Love that show. Remember that episode when Albert is addicted to heroin? That
Yes,
that
yes,
storyline
yes, yes.
and Pa had to take him. Well, they had moved to the city by then, I think.
Yeah, and had to
Had to
come back,
take
had to
him
come back.
on a retreat and just like kidnap him and put him in the cabin or whatever until he was able to get. Oh, Albert, I love. Yeah, so that was one of my favorite shows. So I would just. I didn't know what I was doing then or identifying as that, but I would write scripts and act them out in front of my brother and my sister and my mom.
Uh-huh.
Uh, it was just who I was. I was always performing. So, when it came time for college, it was, as Jamaicans say, a natural,
It
it
was
was
just
just
natural.
completely the next thing that I would do. Although that
Hmm.
was with mom's encouragement, because for whatever, I don't have no idea, but I was determined to be a child psychologist. I thought that was going to be my path. Of course, I had a D average, so that, and didn't get accepted to any schools, so that was crazy. But mommy knew, and she told me Howard is where you're going, because she was I am a legacy because she went to Howard, and
Okay.
that's where I went, and then my artistic life just took off from there.
I believe you. I believe you could have done that as well because it's something. And the reason I asked that question because by your father being an actor, and like you said, your mother a curator of in a museum, you had to always look at things, not look at them in black and white. You know,
Mm.
uh, you kind of because like you could see a painting. I'm just using a painting or a sculpture
Yeah.
as an example, and sometimes people just look at it like it's this or it's that.
Mm.
But you got an opportunity to use your imagination a lot and to be able to look at things different. So when you went in yourself, far as your profession, this is what you want to do, you didn't have set limitations on how to be when you're playing or developing a character. You were already open. Your mind was already open.
Yes, yes. I was surrounded by actors, dancers,
Hmm.
visual artists, and I just had a very, I don't know if this is cheap to say, but a very artistic understanding of existence.
Right.
It wasn't even watching my father rehearse because I didn't do that. I just saw him perform. And what I was absorbing without understanding it was
Hmm.
just not just daddy, but Aunt Leonie, my aunt, and his scene partner. I was just understanding the process and the depth, because I had the blessing of being around some incredibly deep artists, people who just went there. There was nothing superficial. So that's just how I was trained to see the entire picture and just see everything in color and nuance, and absorb it all, and then
Right.
channel that into the work that I do. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I get it. I get it. I think one of my second interview that I ever did when I started my podcast back in 2020 was Bill Dukes. And yeah, that's what I see. I got a yes from him too. I was on cloud 30. It was hard to get me to come off that cloud.
Yeah.
And he opened my eyes when he talked about being. And then it took me back as a kid because we you were born only 1 year in front of me.
Okay.
And watching the TV show Fame and remembering when they were in the movie and remember when they were doing, the auditions, right? And as a kid, you don't get it when they say, okay, be a tree, be this, be that. And you're like, man, man, what are they doing? You don't understand it. Then when I started to do these interviews and talk to great actors such as yourself, and Bill Dukes talked about being, how you had to open yourself up to be that role you're playing, but not only be, but you have to be with your cast. You have to be so you're it was a very so now they got me and my little I call her my little sister friend of mine, she majored in theater. And so I can't even watch TV as a fan now. I'm so
Mm.
y'all got y'all got me looking at people and I start picking out like, this is my favorite character. You know why? Because see, this character has layers. So this actor got to be I can't, I can't, I can't even watch TV regularly anymore.
It's funny when I mm, when I work on, dramatic pieces,
Mm-hmm.
where
Mm-hmm.
it's heavily emotional. I had to learn how to, and I just, because I didn't know how to do it any other way.
Okay.
When I'm in those places,
Mm-hmm.
preparing for those moments, or in those moments,
Okay.
it is th there isn't a cut. Where we're talking about working in front of the camera. For
Uh-huh.
me, there is not cut.
Okay.
There's not and the scene is over, and then you break character and you can just be yourself. And then when they say action or rolling, you step back into your character. There is not that reality for me because I don't know how to turn it on and turn it off. So if I need to be somewhere, if I need to be in a place, wherever
Mm-hmm.
this truth is, and
Mm-hmm.
it is an emotional journey then I just need to be there. I don't know how to turn it off. And I don't want to, because I don't know, it's just not truthful. And in those moments, it's really important to be truthful. So I just, like, one of the things that I was working on.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I was working on The Wire, yes. And there was a heavy scene. Oh, it was the scene with Idris. Why was I crying? It must have been the funeral of my son or something like that. And I was on the bed with him or some shit like that. And I was really nervous about this scene. I had not ever needed to be emotional and crying and stuff, and I didn't know how to do it. I was a smoker back then, and I remember going to Wendell. He was on set, and I went to him, and I was just because he did a workshop at Howard when I was there.
Okay.
Um, so I knew him, and I went to him and said, dude, I don't know how to bring this. And he just said, just be there. Just let it be. And I was sitting in my, oh Lord Jesus. I was
I,
sitting, I was sitting in my trailer, my little what do they call those things back then? No, oh, them little teeny weeny little cubbies that they
mm-hmm.
give. And I was a smoker. I was a smoker, and that's just how I dealt with my anxiety or whatever. And
Okay.
I heard, what would happen right now if you didn't smoke?
Hmm.
And I'd be nervous and I'd be anxious, and I don't, but isn't that exactly where you need to be right now?
Mm.
Like, fuck, yeah, that's right. So
Wow.
I didn't smoke, and I just lived in all of that angst that I was feeling.
Right.
I didn't want to shut it down. I didn't want a break from it. And I just lived in that moment. And then what came is what that scene ended up being. And I'd not ever done that before. And I thought that it would be scary for
Mm-hmm.
me to be so out of control, it felt like in my head. I thought, but I'm going to be crying and I'm going to be out of control. But it was beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful.
And you just described that, and that was the lesson that Bill Dukes was teaching me. He said that it's like the movie oh gosh I can't think of the movie where the character was hypnotized, not falling,
Uh, uh, Get Out?
Get Out, yeah.
Yes.
He said it's like when you know how they used the illustration when she was hypnotized and he started falling. And
Mhm.
he said that's how it is, falling and you don't know where you're going to land.
But
And
trust. You just
right,
trust.
right. And
Mhm.
that's what you were feeling like at that moment. You didn't know where you were going to land, but when you landed, you because understanding too, you also have to use when he said being, you have to use your whoever you're in the scene with at that time. You got to use them. So that's why you have to be with them because you're using them. Sometimes you could just look at them or use them to get whatever it is that you need to, convey at that time. One of the most
Yeah.
thing I'm always in awe of an actor is when you all have to convey something without any lines. And the camera has got to pick it up where I know what you're feeling. And I'm always in my mind, how do you do that? Like, how do you convey that with, no lines at all?
You don't convey anything. You just exist and you're in a space and in a moment with someone or with yourself, and you're just living in the truth of that. You don't try to do anything.
Right.
Yeah.
What was your first theater role? Um, what was that like for you? And why does most actors that come from the theater love the theater? I've yet to run into an actor say, you know what, I did theater. I'm not trying to go back. I've never heard that.
Hmm. I was going to say Broadway, but that wouldn't have been true. I did Henry, Henry VIII,
Okay.
Shakespeare in the Park, um, in New York, Public Theater, Shakespeare in the Park, Henry VIII, the year that I graduated from grad school. I didn't have a line. I was one of the ladies in waiting. Um, and it was magical. It was, boy, why do I love the theater? How do I experience? For me,
Uh-huh.
it is a spiritual experience, but then all of acting is. So why the theater over the camera? Because you are raw.
Okay.
It is now. There is
Okay.
no retake. It is live. It is, yeah, I just think but that's the beauty of, for me, the
Mm-hmm.
art, because, you translate that, oh my goodness, I tell you the truth. Excuse me for being graphic, but I'm really
No,
trying
no, you're fine. You're fine.
what I'm talking about. When you have that moment
Mm-hmm.
that it clicks, that, because now we're talking about theater. Some
Right.
days you can be on as fuck, and some days you can be off as hell. But
Mm-hmm.
when you have that moment in 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 the scene, whether it be theater or the camera, and
Mm-hmm.
it is on and you have connected, that's why I feel like it's a spiritual experience. It is like, it is like a vibration that just
Okay.
feel this fire inside of you that just grows, that you just feel because you are connecting with something beyond you. You have connected to a much bigger thing, and it is coming out of you. It is a magical, incredibly intense feeling. And for me, I've learned to, well, I mean, you're in it, and it is overtaking you, but there's not a fear there. It's a knowing that I've
Okay.
arrived, and just live in it and flow with it. It is a beautiful, magical, intense feeling that when you get it on stage, it's just, when you're doing a musical, and you
Mm-hmm.
just, and you're singing, and the vibrations are just through you, and you're communicating. And I wasn't a big musical person, and then I did a musical, and I was just like, oh my God, it's so magical, baby. It's just, I don't know how to I don't know how to.
Is it like Erica Gimple, who played Coco on the TV show Fame?
Mhm.
She said like it's a rhythm for her. It's like it's because you said like just an example. You use a musical, right? And I was asking her like when you do a TV show like Fame and you're dancing and singing, and then boom, you're going into your lines, right? You're not singing. You just said, and she said for her it's just like it's a rhythm. It's a dance. It's just for her. And when she said when you just like with kind of what you described when you get in that space, once you're in that space, and she said the funny thing is when you're in that space.
Feel
That's
it. Feel it. You feel it. I'm sorry. To me, if this makes any kind of sense,
hmm
I don't mean to offend anybody's tender ears, but to
hmm
me, it's like that moment of ejaculation
hmm
where your whole body you feel that vibration, that sensation through your whole body. If you can I guess it's what people feel when they say they feel the spirit, like in Baptist churches or
hmm
Pentecostal
hmm
experiences.
Right.
You just get this vibration through you. And it's like I'm not. It's not even a desire to shut it down. You just ride it. You just ride it, and you know that it is absolutely right.
hmm
Just
Yeah.
it's a beautiful thing.
So, and it's funny that you said about how you don't go in and out a character because they say let's go to lunch and then you like okay I'm at the I heard actor Leon say the same thing like he stays when he was playing Little Richard he he wouldn't allow the actual Little Richard on set because knowing who Little Richard was there can only be one
Oh wow.
on
Okay.
so he stayed he
Okay.
stayed he stayed like so like yourself he stays there he doesn't come out of character so that explains the brilliance of you all's work uh people such as yourself that do that because now you to me I guess for me outside looking it seems like you can dive deeper into that character because you just there. You're not saying, okay, I got to be on set at such and such time. Let me get it. It's like, okay, you're just this person. So now, given the script that's your blueprint, you may be able to improvise something, that's not on script. That
Sure.
they like, oh, where did you get it? Where you pull that from? And you sitting there like, because I am her. That's why. I'm not popping in and out of her.
Yes.
I'm just her.
If
So
the director and the writers allow. Yeah. That was with shit. Tina Mabry, who
hmm
directed that independent film whose name I am now forgetting. But there something just came up. There was just something that an actor did, my scene partner did,
hmm
and it just felt right to say something that was completely off script that, you know, thankfully my scene partner wasn't thrown off by it because there was nothing prepared there, but you just go with the flow because it just feels right. And when you feel that urge,
hmm
go with it because like I don't know if I said, we're all just vessels.
Right.
Feel we are all vessels for the messages that are coming through us, right? And
Yes.
messages are from God, but um so don't stifle it. Do you know? Allow that to come through because for some reason it's being asked to come through you. So just step aside and let what needs to happen happen.
Decrease so that can increase and flow, through. through the individual, and you can
Get
be
out of
the
ego,
that
get out of
correct vessel. Yeah.
yeah.
Is there a different approach uh, when you're in theater versus film? Is there a different approach? Okay.
No, not at
Okay.
all.
Okay.
I've heard people say that, and maybe to some, I don't know. Not it hasn't been my experience because I was raised in theater first.
Mm-hmm.
But there was a time when people thought that actors who were raised in front of the camera couldn't uh, be on stage. I just because it's a in theory, it's a bigger space, and you
Right.
are talking to the 5,000 person in the back,
Mm-hmm.
and it just requires your body, your understanding of your space to be bigger.
Okay.
Um, when you're doing the camera,
Mm-hmm.
everything's right here. You don't have the opportunity to, do this. But that you learn in a second. You just learn that the truth is still the truth.
Gotcha.
You just understand you need to be more still. That's all.
You don't have to project out now because the
No,
camera,
you got
the
lights,
camera is catching
right?
everything.
Yeah.
This character behind me, Brianna Barksdale. What did if you can remember that character because you've gone to do so many other things since that character. Um, what do you think we miss about Brianna Barksdale?
Hmm.
Because like I said, a lot of times we like we judge character as fans we judge characters. Oh, that's messed up. This is, and I'm always interested from the person or people that play the characters. What did we miss?
Well, I think what was the focus was not on Brianna's journey,
No,
but Brianna's truth and the reason Brianna behaved the way she did, made the choices that she did, is because she was raised to be that way. It is. She came from a home, a mother and a father, a community, a neighborhood that spoke that language. Do you
right,
know? It was second nature to her. She wasn't, being deliberately evil or anything like that. It was what she knew.
got you.
Mm? Um, it's who she was. It was what she understood life to be, because that was the life that she was shown as a young person. That was the conversations that she had with her people. Do you know? And that's what she knew. That's how you handle business.
I would say that's how you handle business.
That's how you handle business.
I
Uh God.
I chose this backdrop, because of it.
Mm,
It was one of my favorite scenes. It's two scenes that you did. I mean, you did more than two, but this scene here, the reason I picked this one out because it's like she knows the truth, but she wants her brother to. It's like she knows something. That mother tuition is telling her something ain't right, and you did it in a way that only a woman can do.
mm,
He said,
crazy.
"I ain't had nothing to do with that," and you said, "Do with what?" And then that's that wife, that's
Gotcha.
that mother catching a lie. That's That's that. What's it? Huh? Dude. No, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I ain't. What happened. I ain't. But you knew, and Ildra's character is sitting there like, okay, can't let this get out because with these two here, I'll be dead in a minute. Like.
I remember that. I remember that. That was didn't I go up to his, like, go directly to him and like
Yes,
kneel
yes,
down to him?
yes. You did,
I
you did,
remember that. I
you did.
remember that scene. That was a very intimate. I think that was one of the few times that I worked with Idris and Wood together,
Hmm.
because normally my scenes were like with one other person,
Yeah, one of either or because
either
yeah.
or, but this time I had the two of them in there, and it was a very intimate, very intense experience. Just
See, I told you it intense act because the three of you guys did such a great. I mean, you could cut the tension with a knife without even being on set. Just through the TV because I'm. If you remember this, I'm gonna tell you what you also did. You also showed who actually really runs the family.
oh, mm,
Because if you can recall, when you were asking him do it what, he the and Wood did such a great job. He just put his head down. He was just kind of fidgeting, like 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 big big. I'm gonna be in trouble with big sis. Like it was the point where like, hold on, wait a minute. So Barksdale ain't really running. I mean, he run. It's like he the front man, but he's not really the boss in the family.
wow.
And you guys did a great that energy. My others, I don't have a picture for it, but my other scene that you did is when you went to go see D, and he said that he would if he, snitched, they were gonna give him a whole new life, and he could start over. He could take his son, and you said, "How you gonna start over without your people? How
Right.
you how you going up?" And then he said something to you that that broke your heart. That broke your heart, and that was he recalled the time he was little, and he said that you told him that he was going to have to be the one to live in this world. You brought him in this world, but he was going to have to live in it. And I could, your the acting job you did with that to show her humanity because you showed kind of what you just said, as far as okay, this is what she was given, this drug work, this is all she knows, this is all she knows. But she was a mother trying to um, protect her son the best way she knew with the rules that you got in the game that you're playing, the rules that are given. And when he said, "I gotta live," so I'm living it because I'm gonna go ahead and do the time. Your facial expression, it was almost as a mother, as a parent, you were saying, "I failed him."
Mm,
because
wow.
I because I put him here by not keeping him away from this. I threw him in this, and now ain't there's nothing your facial expression. It was like now there's nothing I can. He's here, in here, and ain't nothing I can do about this. And it was like, man, the conversations me and my wife have sometimes, or even with my daughters, because they have 2-year-old and a 4-year-old, and I always talk about the choices that we make as parents, that we have to be careful, because you can do damage that they can't come back from.
Mm. Isn't it? Yeah. Yeah. I mean, can you imagine um, I don't know, devastation to come to that realization. You do your best, what you understand is your best, and then either being in that courtroom, seeing your child charged, you know,
Mm-hmm.
you put the cuffs on him and lead him out the other way, mm, the pain, being a parent and knowing how much you invest in your, is that light flickering? How much you invest in everything for your kid, I
Right.
mean, and the nuances of that, the when he was sick, when his asthma was flared up and you had to take him to the hospital and sit up with him, when he couldn't lay down because his lungs were so filled and you had to all of those nuances go into the understanding of that moment when you realize that you failed. Do you know what I mean? All of those
Oh yes, yes,
time
yes.
you cook them dinner and you every day that you made dinner and you bathed them and you taught them how to bathe themselves and then you took them to school and you taught them how to drive, all of those things. And you thought all of that time you were doing right by your child, you were setting them up for life and so that they could, and then in that one moment, yeah, that's deep. That's deep.
But guess who did do right by their child? It is a crazy thing. You might laugh, but was Hassan's character, Weebay.
We I
Weebay. So Delana, I forget who the Naaman. Their son Naaman is trying to be a corner boy, but he really ain't got the heart for it. And
Yes.
and and when you get near the end and the ex cop comes and say, look, he can be anything. He can be anything he want to be. But the streets, he'll be dead or up in here with you a year or two. And so you have Weebay saying, well, you never know. He might surprise you. And he said, come on, you know your son. Come on. Like, and he allows the cop to adopt his son. And then he has to tell Delana, he said, you gonna let go of that boy. He said, the man come down here and tell me that he can be anything he want. And she said, yeah, but except a soldier. And he leans back and he says, he looks around like, yeah, well, look at me. Who would want to be that? I said, boy, I said, the dude that was killing everybody in the in the film knew in order for his son to have a chance, got to let him go.
God.
I said, man, y'all, I said, what you guys was doing, man, you guys was doing
The
some
writers, to
incredible,
the writers, to the
yeah,
writers.
to the writers. But I'm saying the way you guys
Or
breathe the life into the character, and then you begin to because until that point, we only saw Weebay one way. I mean, there's a scene in there where he's gonna take the charges, and he's sitting up there just telling everybody he killed, like he ain't got no heart. Like, bring me some more food, I tell you what. And then you get, but then what you mentioned about being a parent, but then when it came to his son, he changes. So that's what I mean. What you guys have to bring some type of humanistic to a character, especially where we could see it, where we can see it. Um, you had
nuances.
another icon character, but was totally different though. But was totally different. And when I say I loved you for this character here, yeah, I thought I loved you in the Wire, which I mean, I did, but I slept on this show. I didn't even know I was sleeping on this show. That was the crazy part. I didn't even know.
From the beginning. I mean, from when it aired.
Nah, you um woo this here. Oh my goodness. I had to pull this scene here because watching what she did and then watching let me say this. I don't know how you feel because I don't do what you do. I felt like Snowfall, the ending was the best ending of a TV series I had ever seen. And I'm talking about I felt like The Wire was the best TV show I had ever seen because the way they, like you said, the writers, the way they broke it down from street levels to the police to the politicians to the newspaper to the kids, you know. Um, but this here was the best. Snowfall had the best ending because what she did this time, your character, what you did set your son free.
Mhm.
Didn't do it the way other people would think. But when you listen to him at the end, when he said, but they don't own me. They don't own me anymore. I'm free. He realized it was better for him to be on the street, homeless, than to go through the mental anguish that that lifestyle that he chose. It's kind of like what they say, you let the devil in, he gonna drive out the while. You actually think he riding. He about to drive and take
Mm,
over.
mm.
Your character playing his mother, the relationship that you had with your son in Snowfall, as well as your husband, and then the dynamic with Uncle Jerome. Everybody love Uncle Jerome.
Lovely. Amen. Yeah.
But talk about how did what is it like for you to be on two iconic shows like that, but to have signature character that we cannot talk about The Wire nor Snowfall without talking about you.
That is very kind. Uh, it's um obviously it's God because I didn't go into either project, either job,
Mm-hmm.
any idea of its influence, its greatness,
Mm-hmm.
what, of the character or of the story as a
Mm-hmm.
whole. Um, these things fell into my lap spiritually, and it was literally just grateful to be employed, and I'm just gonna do my best with it. I'm gonna, um the why sorry, Snowfall was more meaningful in that I got a chance to work directly with John. And that
Gotcha.
to me was an incredible experience, just a beautiful journey for me, to work with an artist whose art I was in awe of.
Okay.
And directed by him, was it was an artist's dream. Just I thought the brother was crazy, and then he just had me. So that was meaningful. But to look at the experiences
Mm-hmm.
from your point of view, meaning the viewer's point of view.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's and maybe that's a blessing that I didn't ever see it that way. I just took every episode, I took every scene as the moment that I had. There, to me, there was no promise of the next moment. All I had was this. And that's all I was able to focus on. The enormity of the show.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just removed from all of that. I had no idea that I think it was like season 3 or 4
Mm-hmm.
that I really embraced its enormity. You know, that so many people were watching it and fans of it. And but I can't ever focus on that kind of stuff.
Well, I know you doing the work. Yeah. You
I'm
just
just like right here. And then I don't, because I don't want it to seem like I'm disconnected from it, but to
mm-hmm.
explain my disconnection, I don't look at my work. I've not ever looked at The Wire. I've
Mm-hmm.
not ever watched Snowfall, right? Be that's the theater part of me.
I get it.
So every performance
Mm-hmm.
is when it's finished, it's over. When
Gotcha.
you do a show in on stage, you give everything to that moment, and
Mm-hmm.
then you go in your dressing room, you wash your face, and you walk away. That's how I approach the work that I do always in front of the camera or anything else. And I don't ever want to get caught up in my ego mind.
I get it.
I just want to stay in the truth of what's on the page and the story of the woman that I'm trying to tell. I don't want to deal with all of that stuff. So I don't watch things. I leave it. So there's that's why I am kind of disconnected from the experience that you have. Do you know what I
Wow.
mean?
Sure. It's one of those things because I love it. It's so if someone is the lead, male or female, they have, this backdrop, whether it's TV or whatever, and they have layers to the camera. But I love the supporting cast where someone has, like you said, I've got this scene. And when I took the job, they told me this all I had was this scene. But then you do such a phenomenal job, they keep writing because it's almost seemed like even with the wire, because this is Snowfall's a little is different, but and I could be wrong when like I was there casting, but it seems like with the wire, it's like you were supposed to be first season. He's coming out the high rises, and we weren't supposed to see you again.
Oh, I didn't know it was going to be anything more than that. I had no
See
fucking
what I'm
idea.
saying? See what I'm saying? And it's your job, your job, and then playing Sissy Saint, she had layers because your character went from mm-mm, we don't do drugs, we don't do your daddy was in the Black Panther, we till okay, this is what you're gonna do. Now let me show you, as far as how to, get property and all this stuff, and it's just and the human side of you showed in this scene where because she was also a praying woman, but that humanity part was like, I can't let this go. Nah, I got to get this. I got to get this. I can't let this go. Because your face don't even look like, all right, when I do this, I'm gonna free my son. Like, nah, this nigga killed my husband. I got this nigga in my sight right now. He got to go. He got to go. And
I love doing that one.
yeah, that was
I
that was
loved, I loved, yeah, I'm really grateful that I was given the opportunity
mhm,
to represent my family.
yes.
That was really important to me. Um, represent my husband and my son, to honor the men in our lives. It was very, very important to me, to have the opportunity to honor our men, which I don't think the industry does enough of.
You even show forgiveness
Yeah. Uh,
because that's the only way you got back with your husband. You had to forgive him, and you guys were trying to put your family back together. That was also powerful, like you said, that we don't get to see of
the journey of um, African men and women when they
yeah.
love, you
Hmm.
know, and the nuances of that, the anger. What we see is the anger and the betrayal and all of that fuck, but you don't see the family, the love, the honor, the forgiveness, the moving forward together.
Together. Yeah.
Um, that was important for me, and I'm so glad that I had the opportunity to do that.
I just have two more questions for you.
Please.
How was working with Spike Lee in your earlier as an assistant?
Oh fuck. Oh my gosh, look at you. New Jersey Drive. Oh my goodness. Actually, I did not work with Spike. Spike produced that show.
Yeah,
Spike
New Jersey. Yeah.
produced it. That's so funny. I was in New York,
Hmm.
um, and I think I was working. I lived in downtown Brooklyn, in St. James Place, St. James Street, St. James Place, and I was working at Macy's or some shit, and I felt like I was just dying if I
Hmm.
had to do the stereotypical stuff. And I was working on a play. I got a play somewhere, and somebody said, "Oh, Spike is looking for interns for his new film." Well, all I had to hear is Spike. And I what I think I quit my job. I was like, whatever. I wrote a letter, I wrote an essay why I should be, chosen, and I got the job. It didn't pay anything. You're an intern, but because I
Right.
had a SAG card, they were able to eventually. We worked for a couple of months. I was able to get where I was able to get paid, but that was the first time that I had been on set
Okay.
behind the scenes, and that was I was a PA. I've done I've done so many jobs in this industry. I was a PA, and I got to work, the production end of it, and
Hmm.
that was a really great experience, as an artist, and then coming into the camera world. That was a really wonderful experience to have, to see how things work behind the scenes, the little working with the extras and working with
Hmm.
the ADs and the director and the producer and just the nuance of I would want any actor to have the opportunity to be an extra, to be a PA, to
Okay.
be an AD, to do all those small jobs that
Hmm.
nobody pays attention to, so
Okay.
that you appreciate when you get what you get, you know,
Gotcha.
all of the
Gotcha.
things that go into being where you are. You know what I mean?
Oh, of course, of course. Because I remember the way I got Bill Dukes is because I'm fearless. I was trying to get Denzel, and keep in mind now, I said it was on my second interview, so I really don't have anything to send to anybody, showing what I've done. And I don't know if that was actually Denzel's people or not. I really don't know. But it wasn't working out. And I could hear God telling me, don't worry about it. I got something for you. I got a ram in the bush. I got some. And I had already sent the request to Bill Duke's people, and it came back. I interviewed them, so now I'm thinking I'm on my way, right? Like, oh, I'm about to get them all now, and it didn't work out that way. And then someone just gave me great advice to kind of what you're saying, working behind the scenes, which is just do the best interview you can do with the person that you're interviewing at the time, and then the rest will will come. So um, I could hear the spirit what you're saying in that being an assistant, being a PA production assistant, working behind the scenes, seeing
Work with
how things work, and being able to treat people with respect because they have a job to do. Your job is just different than that job. Doesn't mean that you are more important to them. I mean, more important than them. It's just that now you're either directing or you're in front of the camera, but all of it comes together for the success of the project.
work begets work, and we live in a very, very small community that is the entertainment industry. Um, world, period. And the energy that you live in
Mm-hmm.
will affect you 20 years from now. You don't ever know who you're going to meet, who you're
Right.
going to be working with, whose name is going to be on that check. So live in your truth and be the best version of yourself at all times, because you just don't know when you're going to come up on that person again. Um, was Taraji in that show, in that movie?
Which one? Which
Jersey
one?
Drive?
I don't remember seeing Taraji in New Jersey, but I don't.
Who was the lady? Who was the lady?
Let's
Who
see.
are the actors in that show? In that,
Let's see. New Jersey
I
Drive.
can't believe you brought that up. Oh my goodness.
You had Gwen McGee,
Oh, that's funny.
uh, Gabriel Cassius, Andre Moore, Samantha Brown,
Don't remember. I guess no, it wasn't him. Yeah, Larry.
Leslie Seeger. I didn't even realize she was in there. I had a chance to interview her, aka Big Les.
Did you interview her?
I've had her on twice. I've been blessed to have her on twice. I told you when I'm a fan, I look for you. It don't mean I get everybody, but I'm gonna look for you. I'm gonna look for you. My final question: what out of life inspires you? When you look at life and everything that goes on in the world or goes on in your orbit, what inspires you?
Outside of my son?
No,
Uh,
it could be your son. It could be
oh, mm, the spirit, spirit. So what in life? It's not life itself. Um, my art is a spiritual calling. I
okay.
believe art is a spiritual experience. And
I can agree. I can agree with that, and I'll tell
uh,
you why when you finish with your answer. I'm gonna tell you why.
yeah, uh, what inspires me in life? Oh, sorry, I don't mean to create a whole bunch of
No,
silence. It's an
you fine.
incredible,
You fine.
it's an incredibly deep, beautiful question. Um, and it's the in life thing that is not throwing me, it's making me think deeper. and the only thing that can come up, because life itself, my life
Mm-hmm.
is at its best when I am on the same page with spirit. Mm? Things look different, they feel different. Um, and I am in love in those in that. When I am off kilter with the spirit, with what the truth is, whatever that
Mm-hmm.
is, then is when life is very heavy. So it's not so much life that inspires me. I mean, yeah, but you can't take away that son thing, that child thing, because my life was
You don't have to take it away.
no my
If
yeah
that wasn't inspires you, that's
my
fine.
yeah my kid becoming a
Mm-hmm. I get
uh,
it.
you of course you do. You must. There is something very beautiful, very, again, it's all spirit. It's that's why I have to come back to that. You know, when my son was growing in my body, it was a deeply, deeply spiritual time for me. Everything was aligned, as hard a struggle
Mm-hmm.
as life was at that
Mm-hmm.
time. What was happening inside my body was just, yes, was just love, was just everything. And that is really the whole world. Like, you know, when I'm broke, or when I'm, you know, when the bills couldn't get paid, or when the car broke down and all that shit that is life,
Mm-hmm.
when you're here, you know, when you're here, it's a very different perspective. And when, yeah, you know, just my relationship with spirit consciousness is the thing that um, brings me joy, that inspires me, that empowers me uh, to step outside of this earthly understanding of existence and
Mm-hmm.
rise above it and expand beyond it. That's when I'm at my best. Uh,
Okay.
yeah, it's beyond what you can see, because sometimes
Mm-hmm.
what you can see or what you can hear can limit your consciousness of what is possible. So it's not about what we see life being, it's what we create life to be from our own consciousness. And for me, that's a spiritual thing. I don't know how else to say that.
No, no, trust me when I say I get it. Even the Bible says, "Call those things that are not to be though as they were." So like what you're saying, a lot of times spiritually or physically, we're walking by sight, not by faith, because it's like, okay, I don't see that happening. And I'm sure you hear people say that all the time. I don't see that happening. Well, you looking through the wrong lens. That's why you're looking for carnal, carnality, and carnality only has so much vision. And so when you talked about that, the spirit, and you talked about the art, the reason, I can agree with you. When I look at a show like Little House on the Prairie, and I looked at it as a kid, see, I'm looking at it as it's a show, it's entertaining me. As an adult, now I look back and I said Michael Landon was a genius
Oh God, yes. Oh yes. Oh yeah.
because you mentioned Albert, the character Albert.
Mm-hmm.
Well, remember you have Albert and you have James,
Yes.
but his biological son Charles died. And my wife and I, we kept sitting back, like, man, you gonna kill your child. But his child had to die because he needed to adopt And without if his child is here, would he actually adopt those two boys
Right. Yeah.
that were not his?
Mm.
And so there's when you look at the spiritual overtones, where he, when he's talking about Christianity and he's talking about forgiveness, because the antagonist, Mrs. Olson, just keep forgiving over and over, and then when she's in trouble, they're there. You know, then the you remember when he thought he was gonna inherit all this money, and how everybody around him changed. And then when he stepped outside of what he normally does and got on credit, and they was going to take his house and everything, and then how his friends, true friends, came to his rescue, but it was from the seeds that he had sowed already. Like somebody suggested, like a reboot, a reboot of Little House
They
on the Prairie, and
they couldn't
the
touch it.
the I forget her name. Oh, Melissa Sue,
What's the
who
Gilbert?
no Melissa Sue, who played Mary.
Who played Mary? Okay.
She said, but they're not Michael Landon. And I
Right.
said, and my wife and I sat back and I said, if they were going to do a reboot today, the only person I could see that could pull it off, there's only one. It would have it would have to be my man that did the Passion of Christ.
Who's Scorsese? No, no.
No, no,
Who?
no, no. Of course, Mel Gibson, because his being authentic, as close as he could get with the Passion of Christ. Actually, he's getting ready to do a part two, from my understanding, called the Resurrection,
Oh, really?
because he's fascinated with
I don't think I saw that movie.
God's. No, he with the Passion of Christ.
Yeah, I don't think I saw
Oh
that.
man,
I
oh you got to see
remember. No,
that.
I've got to go. Now I have to go see that. I have to look at that like right now. Yeah, I remember all of the
Because
controversy.
Hollywood, yeah. See,
Yeah.
they didn't want to touch it. He put his own money into
Now
it
I
and
gotta go
got
see it.
like three, four-fold more money than
It was really good, huh?
that weekend, he made this when we were going to the movies, before
Right.
COVID.
Mhm.
um, I think I forgot how much it cost him, but I know like that Friday and Saturday he had grossed. No, that Friday night he had grossed over 84 million in one night. Like
Really?
because they underestimate the church, and he got it as close as you can get. He matter of fact, it's not even in English. It has to have subtitles because he used the Arabic language. Uh,
Really?
I saw the interview with the guy who played Christ. He had got struck by lightning twice. And I looked at my wife. I said, "See, that'd have been the Lord telling me, like, no, nah, can't nobody
Yeah.
play you." Let me. I do Moses or somebody. I can't keep getting hit with lightning. I can't get.
Stop.
But that's how I know what you were saying is so truthful, because I see the in Little House on the Prairie. I see a lot of the spiritual implications. And before I let you go, I did have the pleasure to interview twice Ketty Lester, who played Hester Sue,
Esther Sue.
the black lady that helped run the blind school.
Really?
Ketty Lester.
Really?
God bless me.
When? When?
Uh, what was it? 2 years ago. I'll tell you when I did it. Remember when
Wow. What
what is
was
his
that?
name? Joe Biden was, running for president.
Yeah.
I interviewed her then. She found out, I was interviewing her about her. She found out I was, in Atlanta, Georgia. Her manager calls me back and says she wants to come back on your show. I said, "Oh, okay. Well, now I don't know what we're gonna talk about because I
You
only
asked her everything.
she she wanted to come back on the show to talk about the importance of voting
Oh, of
because
course.
she was a fan of Stacey Abrams
Oh, okay. Okay.
and
Okay.
Raphael Warnock.
Okay.
So I had to bring her back. I can't say no. I had to bring her back on the show
Oh man, the
to
stories she could
to
tell. Oh my goodness.
yeah. She's I think first African American woman to win a Grammy for her song. I think it was 1963. Something like, oh yeah, she's a yeah, she's awesome. And so stuff like that humbles me because who am I for her to say, hey, get him back, tell him I need to come back on. And so that's why I said
I'm
I
so
love
glad you allowed yourself to do that. You lent yourself to that experience, not knowing, that space of unknown. Just yes,
that's why the
just
show is interruptions
no
because
need
I don't
to
know. I don't know your like this interview with you
beauty
was
of it.
so you know, and I say this and I'll let you go. Do when you meet people, no, when people meet you, do you think they know how to approach you? Like, do they know?
No,
I didn't think so. I didn't
no,
think so. The
they're so
reason, the
open.
reason, the reason I asked that question
Yeah.
is because you only respond to originality and honesty, authentic, a person that's just authentic themselves and honesty. And the reason they don't know, and it keeps you away from a whole lot of stuff. I know it does. They don't know how to approach you because they're up. They really ain't got no good intentions, and they don't know how to come at you because they don't know how to take you. And so now is like you have a spirit about you that says either come correct or don't come at all. Just come correct, baby. Just come correct, or keep it moving, keep it moving. And a lot of times people don't know how to come at you because they don't know how to come correct, so they don't know how to come at you.
I find even the men and women who um are so attached to the storyline that they were pissed at Sissy for giving away the money or whatever. There are many of those. But
It was a lot of money.
but I'm always appreciative of or maybe that's my age. I don't know. But I'm appreciative of the humility and the sincerity
Mm-hmm.
and the all bullshit aside energy
Mm-hmm.
that they do come to me with, even when they throw in, but I'm still mad at you. The love, the sincerity of just their love
The love.
for the work that I've done. Um, that kind of just gets rid of all the other shit, you
But
know?
but you know what about what Sissy did that actually was a good thing if you think about it. Uncle Jerome, Saint, your son, Leon, Leon kind of stopped at the end, but everybody kept sacrificing who they were for the sake of
Mm.
making that money. Yeah, you end up you got your brother and your nephew going at each other, and his character said it at the end. He said, "What do I have? What at the end of the day, what do I really have? Well, I got money. I can't. I'm looking over my shoulder. I can't sleep with both of my eyes. Like your character got to the point, and that's why I said I liked it because she was like, look, I understand he can get the cold and all this and get the money. I understand to his basic human. That nigga killed my husband. I'm sorry, he got to go. Yeah, he got, he got, he got to go. I got to all that you look, all that you burning his chest, all that. Yeah, that was cute. All that, right? But I'm gonna take it back. He getting up out of here. And hey, what they say, hell has no fury
Like a
like a
woman's
woman
scorn.
scorn, and that she took him on up out of here. But thank you for coming on the show, blessing us with your presence. I love to bring you back at a later time. And normally when I do that, I always pair you up with another guest, right?
Oh,
So I already know when I want you back on. It just depends on your schedule. Be something for Mother's Day.
oh wow. That would be lovely. That would
I,
be
okay.
thank you, my dear.
No,
And honor to you, bruh. Otis, please. Honor to you.
thank you.
The stories that you are telling, the platform that you are creating, outside of Hollywood, outside just talking to us, allowing us to talk to each other without all of the glitz and glamour.
Hmm.
Uh, I love that. I honor that. Bravo to you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. You are a treasure to us. We love you. Much success to you. Keep doing what you're doing. And tell your son I said he's got a special mother. I know he knows it, but
You hear
he
that, Omi?
he's got a special mother.
Thank you.
Thank you. And we love you.
Take care, my love.